Hello everyone and welcome to round 9 of Neo Racing League season. We are here in the Bahrain International Circuit for the second sprint race of the season, a circuit very well known for action. The circuit is 3.3 miles long with 15 corners, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, 3 DRS zones completing the circuit. Opening in 2004, it became the site of many fantastic races, especially when it turned into a night race. Rivalries have been defined here, and it was the part of the early stages of the Silver War back in 2014 between Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. And then we also saw a generation colliding race in 2021 between Verstappen and Hamilton, which kick-started their year-long rivalry. And probably one of the rivalries of the last 70 years. In Neo, this is our third consecutive race here, with AMG B44 winning our first outing back in Season 2, while Rampant Gamer took the win last season. Who can add their name to that list? We've got a sprint race to go through first though. I am your commentator, James Jackson, and I am joined by a man who has the ability to break the sound barrier and can crack an egg with his mind. All we know is he's called apfstig. How are you doing, my friend?
Good, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm very well. I'm looking forward to another exciting race, to be honest. How are you feeling? You excited for this one?
Bahrain is one that likes to deliver, so good overtaking zones, many overtaking places, and a nice night race. So we get to see a lot of reflections off those cars, so it always looks good here.
Yeah, most of the cars look better in the night. We're just going to quickly go through some admin. We've got some admin to do. We've got some previous race results. We saw Shoot Fizzle take victory. Yeah, admin. We got Shoot Fizzle, who took race win last time out in Imola, retaking the championship lead after Gary Gator had not the best of races. Vekuli finished second that race. Behind him was the debuting Constant Solar 368 in third, just beating out Speed Queen by a couple tenths of a second. Rupsicola in P5, Detective Midge P6, JPS P7, Gary Gator P8, Alia in P9, with Marchmeister rounding out the top 10, and this leads us to this in the drivers' standings. Shoot Visual now leads the way by 12 points over Gary and further 24 points over Speed Queen. Rupsicola is only 5 points behind that in P4 with JPS in 5th. Bekuli 1 point behind the Mercedes in 6th with Marchmeister in 7th. This guy Neo in P8. Handflap Kelly in P9 and Bombia rounding out the top 10. We've got constructor standings as well. Aston Martin continue to extend their lead with 123 points. 87 points for the Mystery Machine, with only 2 points behind them being the Mercedes team. Williams in P4 with Haas 5th, Red Bull 6th, RB 7th, Alpine in P8. McLaren jumped to P9 with Ferrari dropping that down to the bottom spot in P10. We have got a race this evening lined up. We've not just got one, we've got two. We've got 2 quality sessions as well, and with it being a sprint and 2 short qualifyings, this means we're going to have a medium tyre session here in this shorter qualifying session, and soft runs later on in the 18-minute race in probably about half an hour, 45 minutes time. We are in sprint quality though, and people are already setting some times with Shoot Fizzle 28.8, 1/10 clear of Rupsicola, and then the 2 McLarens have set a lap time. We've got a couple more drivers coming across the line now who can top the timesheets and get themselves up the field, or will it be Shoot Fizzle who maintains that spot? Mark Baller 29.9, followed by Handpap Kelly going into 28.9, third place for the Aston Martin, just a 10th off his teammate. And we've got the Ferrari up next of Funny Wave Band 29.4 as everyone starts to put in their lap times.
Someone who was feeling very strong coming into this race was Shoot Fizzle, who is currently leading the timing screens. I wonder if they can actually hold out today. They seem to feel like they will have the edge on the other drivers. Just whether we can get the current who's currently leading? Is Gary leading still? Sorry,
No,
Gary just said
Gary's losing out by 12 points now. It's now Shoot Fizzle who's retaken the lead.
Oh, Shoot Fizzle is taking over the lead. Can Gary come back to fight back to the? No, Gary's not here. Gary's not here, so it won't be Gary at all. But can Speed Queen come and unsettle that championship battle?
Yeah, absolutely. Gary not here tonight due to other personal reasons, so he will lose out on a big haul of points, especially in this point of the season when we're going into that latter part. You've got and everyone is starting to spread out. It is going to be completely detrimental for the Sauber driver. This is the first race you haven't got a single Mystery Machine on the grid, so unfortunately tonight, Stig, no further mention of that, I guess, unless you want to keep mentioning it. But yeah, we've got 12 drivers here tonight. Speed Queen, Shoot Fizzle, probably your favourites as always to battle it out for both the sprint pole and the full qualifying pole. Yes, JC takes provisional pole position for the sprint race with a 28.7. Good job there from the Alpine. Can anyone top that? We've got just over half the session, well actually just under half the session to go now, 5.5 minutes. Can Shoot Fizzle get on top of that, or will the Alpine remain there? Shoot comes into the pit lane, so it will be who's next? I believe Constant Soda.
How's the SJC managed to get onto this soft? So I thought that we were locked onto mediums in sprint quali 1.
Yeah, that's odd. Yeah. Why is he on softs? March, if you
Are our data screens correct?
No,
in fact, there's a few drivers on softs.
Maybe it's just unlocked the whole thing, but
unless it's not locked,
unless
there's
supposed to be
something
locked.
done with the settings. Something doesn't seem right here.
No, because it's only supposed to lock to one medium. So
we've got Speed Queen on the inters, which I don't blame them, to be honest, because they're definitely through to the next session. But that would be allowed.
Well, it's a short quality session. It's not going to be. We're not going to worry about that. It's not long, so don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
He just says the one because they're lazy. So don't worry about it. So we've got Oh, it's probably just because it's
Okay.
short. So everyone, I guess, went
Right.
out of
Okay.
mediums.
So everyone has, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why we have all of the tires available, because normally in sprint qualifying, it would be locked to the mediums, and then the softs would come out in SQ3. So we've just got drivers that have gone just straight to their single set of softs that they have available to them. But we've got drivers such as Shoot Fizzle, done their lap on the mediums, and then going to go back out again a bit later on the soft tires, I assume.
Yeah,
We're on the same page now?
I think we are. I think we're all there
Okay.
now. But I'm quite surprised that it just doesn't still lock it to one medium, because that's what I thought it done. But oh well. We currently still have the Alpine of JC leading the way by just over a tenth of a second over Shoot Fizzle. Funny Wave Band is the only other driver out on track currently, with everyone else remaining in the pits looking to go for their last run. 4 drivers yet to set a lap time, with 3 minutes to go. This is crucial because it is quite easy to get some track limits here, because you're trying, especially in that double downhill left-hander, you could go wide for a lock-up or anything. Or the right hand, the penultimate corner, where you just go slightly wide, or the final corner, you go slightly wide, go over the white line, and that invalidates your lap time. You really wouldn't want to be leaving yourself with just a single timed run, well, in any way, sense, or form. So with that in mind, here comes the rest of the field. JC goes even faster, 28.5. They've been on that soft for quite a while though. So will that Alpine manage to keep that pole position, or will the older soft compounder tyres cause them issue? We've got everyone now coming out of the pits for the final time in sprint quali. Who can take pole?
Well, being an evening / nighttime qualifying session, track evolution is quite a pain here. So you want to be out later on in the session, really. Also, being deserty kind of vibes, you get a little bit of dust and sand on the track, so that can have more effect mainly in the race. But track evolution in qualifying, you definitely want to be out later on.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got Funny Wavans decided to retire from the session in the pit lane, decided not to go out again. We've got Vekuli and Marchmeister still in the pit lane. It's going to be very tight for Vekuli. Marchmeister might just make it, but someone who is starting their lap, Handpluck Kelly in the Aston Martin, running down towards turn 1. Can the Aston Martin make his way up the field after a very mixed season? Hasn't had the best of seasons, been caught up in a couple of incidents, just had not the best of luck at times. Can the Aston Martin help his teammate secure that Constructors' Championship? They lead the way by a fair margin, but can they solidify that? Going through Sector 1 now, the Aston Martin 28.4, 3 temps up on their own personal best, which they've done on the mediums, so they are going to be improving quite significantly. Now through turn 8 and down towards turn 9 and 10. This is a very difficult corner to get right, because you could lock up. It's downhill, the braking is not optimal, and it is all in one corner, so it is very difficult. The Aston Martin does that quite nicely. Down towards turn 11 we go. Can Kelly continue to improve? Does a decent line through there. Continuing on now through turn 12, round this long right hander. You don't want to be touching that inside curb too much if you've got an unstable car, because you can spin it out. Through turn 13, once again, quite nicely done. Down towards the final corner. Final 2 corners of the lap, turn 14 and turn 15. It's a slight extra right, just sweeper right at the end, so now all the way up to the line, all in one fluid motion. Up to the line we go. Fastest for the Aston Martin, 27.9. Can anyone top that? We've got Constant Soda, who will be the next to cross the line on the lap. He's 1.3 seconds up on his own personal best, but he's going to need a little bit more if he wants to get to that upper echelon of the field. Where does the McLaren go? Goes P2, 28.3, 4 temps off of the Aston Martin. Who is next? It will be Mark Baller, who comes up to line, 8 temps up on their personal best, 29.9 to beat for themselves. They will certainly go past that and goes 28.9, a second quicker, but behind their teammate in P6 we've got JPS, who is next up to the flag now. Who can take this pole position? The Mercedes, not had the best of luck at times, however has done a decent job of things in the races. Can they get to the top of the timesheets in qualifying, in sprint quality, up to the line? 27.8, well, just over half a tenth quicker than Hamflap Kelly. Is that going to be enough? We've got Shoot Fizzle on a charge now. That'll be the next across the line. Behind them is Queck Melee as well in the McLaren, up to the line. Goes 27.6. So that's a couple tenths quicker. 2 tenths to be exact. With Queck Melee 28.2. Puts his teammate down to P5. And that is their session done. We've got Marchmeister up to the line. Doesn't improve. Doesn't do a lap time invalidates. And that is session over. Shoot Visual takes sprint pole position by 2 tenths over JPS. Hamflap Kelly in P3. Queck Melen Soda round out P4 and P5 in the McLarens. Rupsicola P6. Yes, JC drops to P7 with Mutt Baller P8. Funny Waveban P9 and Speed Queen in P10, but having not set a lap, along with Vekuli and Marchmeister, those three will start down the order, and we've got a sprint race to attend to. Who can take that? It's quite a expected result though. That pole position, was it?
Yeah, I think so for Shoot Fizzle. Obviously, very confident in the commentary box last week when we were having an interview with them. And it's worth speaking about the other Aston Martin there, Hamflap Kelly, also very confident about this race tonight. Both of them hoping for a double podium to try and help themselves in the Constructors' Championship tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially considering the Mystery Machine is not about tonight. Their closest championship rival. We could absolutely see them go to solidify their constructors' goal, unless Mercedes of JPS has something to say about that. We now got a 10-lap sprint race, is it? Maybe a 9, but we've got a sprint race ahead of us now. It'll be one tyre to the flag, from lights to flag. Who can take pole? We've got a championship leader currently leading us away. One of their best, the closest championship rivals down the order, and the other one not here. It could be a title solidifying race, not a title deciding, a solidifying one for Shoot Fizzle, if I'm right.
It's going to be quite an interesting sprint race, because in real F1 we have not had a sprint race at Bahrain, but it is a very different time for the race to be run. It's in the daytime, it's not at night. So that does make things very different with tyres, very different with track temperatures. Can it make things very different for what we see in the race and what we see in a sprint race?
Absolutely. As we now see, we see everyone getting ready to go. We've got 12-lap sprint race. I do apologise. So It seems like quite. Oh, never mind. I've just been told I was told it was a 12, and then it's a 10. So I don't know.
Right, who's this source of information? Right, go on, name yourselves.
You can imagine the source of
information.
information.
Be ashamed of yourself.
You can imagine the
honestly.
source. You know the source of information.
I know exactly who the source of information is. I think they're in a McLaren.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go.
Sort yourself out. Come on.
So the source. I, as you can tell, my source of information is not. It's great. I might just ask the chat. Yeah, thank you. A better source of information in the chat, the Williams of Rupsicola, having that one for me. So now we've got 10-lap sprint race. In this, would you go for a softs or would you go for a mediums in this? Because they both should theoretically go to the end. You might just have to nurse the softs a little bit more.
I think the medium's probably better off with the heat of the track.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pure daylight as well, so the softs will certainly overheat a little bit more. So we'll just see. Yeah, and for once it wasn't our producer doing the source of information. We now got a formation lap to go. And we can have a look at what tyres everyone is on. We've got 4 soft runners and the rest on mediums, so it'll be interesting to see whether who will baby their tyres a little bit more and who will just manage, who will be a bit too aggressive.
I mean, it makes sense with who has gone for the soft tyres. It's drivers from P7 back, pretty much. I'm not surprised with that. You've got to try something different. You've got to roll the dice and see what you can make of it. Obviously, drivers 1 to 6, all on the medium tyres. So.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. According to our prediction race strategy, apparently it's a soft hard, but it won't be. It certainly will not. That's what I mean. So I'm getting information from certain information that people that the race strategy is saying do a one stop, but that's definitely not going to happen. You can get these softs and mediums. I know for a fact you can get the mediums too. That time the softs may find it a bit more difficult because of the daylight, but the mediums will certainly do so. If it was night time, the softs would absolutely make it. So it's just a matter of who can protect and who can manage. We'll see whether Speed Queen can make their way through, Mark Bowler, Yes JC, or Vakuli can make their way through, or will those soft runners fall to the wayside. We've come to the end of our formation lap. 12 drivers, 10 laps, and then we've got a whole nother race format to go yet.
It's been a while since we've seen JPS on the front row, isn't it?
Absolutely. He hasn't shown, like I say, hasn't shown the best of pace in qualifying, but his race pace has always been half decent. But then in quality, it just seemed to drop off a little bit in comparison to his rivals, which has really been affecting him in the standings. Yeah, we'll just have to let everyone. We'll see how this plays out. We've got 12 drivers, and they're all coming to the grid now, all weaving about, trying to get some tyre temps in their tyres for the last 3 meters or up to their grid boxes. Everyone settles into place. We've actually got a good camera angle for once, which is nice. So thank you, game. Mark Bowler being the only DSQ from the grid due to the losing his pit box. We're now going to go to get underway. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights for the Bahrain sprint race, and it's lights out, and away we go. It seems like a decent start there, but a bit of wheel spin from Shoot Fizzle, but he's going to have a bit of company into turn 1. He may have pulled away in the second phase, because here we see a 3 wide moment between JPS, the McLaren, and the Aston Martin, the Van Flap Kelly. Shoot gets away quite well. It is JPS who maintains the top 3, remain the same. Here comes Flap Kelly and Quick Melly in P3 and P4. Soda's down the order. I wonder what's happened to him, and that's so the top 3 remain the same. Quick Melly is trying to defend from the drivers behind. It's 3 wide between the Williams and the Alpine. We've got almost someone off the circuit, and that looked like Mark Bowler very lucky to save that, but that McLaren is well down the order right now.
Don't count out these Williams. These Williams are going for it. There is no team orders going on at all. They're going too wide around turn 10. No, it looks like they're falling back into an order. But we've got the Ferrari having a go at the V-Club. No, again, falling back into order. We've got the McLaren up against the Alpine. Yes, JC, looks like they've made a good amount of places there. It's at least 3 or 4 places there, I believe, that they have made just on this opening lap.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's been a good run from the Alpine, who's on the soft compound tyres, remember, so it will be crucial for him. We're now going to go to the end of lap 1. Shoot Fizzle remains in the lead ahead of JPS, but the Mercedes has remained in that DRS window quite crucially, because Flap Kelly is in P3 as well, trailing his DRS, and it's become a bit of a queue right now. And now go down towards turn 1, as can JPS do anything. He's quite far back, but everyone trying to get a bit of get out of DRS and get out of slipstream here as we go into turn 1. And now it does look like the Aston Martin, the top 3 are well clear at the moment, but there's a bit more battling. Going down towards turn 4, we've got DRS for Quick Melee and Mark Bowler, but Mark Bowler's looking to have a move on the McLaren up the inside into turn 4. He doesn't quite make that stick. He gets on that curb. That costs him not just 1 position, but potentially 2, because here comes Speed Queen. Speed Queen trying to make a move, can't get it done, almost loses the back end there, and then that's allowed Vakuli to dive up the inside. This is not not helping the Red Bull, and there's a bit of contact there between the McLaren and the Williams in front, and this could be the opportunity for Speed Queen to go round the outside. That is brave of them, and now he's going to get the traction because of the wider line, and now down through there, they're going to have the DRS. Mark Buller is in trouble, gets by Speed Queen up the P6. Meanwhile, Vekuli, Quick Melee are going to go side by side, continuing on from where they left off. And Vekuli almost gets a spinner. That's a spinner, and that RB is certainly round and well out of points paying positions now.
Yeah, that was just two cars coming together. Two cars don't go into one corner. That was not a the move that Vekuli was hoping to happen. They were hoping to try and get through the field as best they could.
Yeah, absolutely. Here comes JPS though. We're going to have a move for the race lead, potentially. No, we're not. Because Aston Martin manages to use enough of their speed to get by. It's actually opened up a gap there a bit. We've got a battle between JC and Handflap Kelly though. As we go through turn 1, Quick Melee has gained a 3-second time penalty. Becomes the first recipient of that this evening. Probably won't be the last. As we now go down through turn 4, can SJC make anything on Handflap Kelly? No, they cannot. As we now got Shoot Fizzle, JPS breaking away from the field. That Mercedes looks much more comfortable than what they were in the last couple races.
Yeah, it looks like the Mercedes really bearing down now. Got the tyres up to temperature and got the car in a really good working window. Gonna have the DRS again coming up towards turn 11. Are they going to be able to consider anything here? Doesn't look like it is. Going to sit behind and just wait for that moment to pounce. Yeah,
absolutely. It's now we've got we're now about a third of the way through the race by the end of this lap. Well, we'll just go about sector 1. So now we've got Shoot Fizzle, who's now settling in, trying to manage the gap to JPS, but also trying to help maybe get away from the rest of the field. In this sense, would you help, if you're Shoot Fizzle, would you help Handflap Kelly if the constructors is on your mind, or do you just want to get away from that pack and just deal with the single driver of the Mercedes?
I mean, well, you say about this, but Handflap Kelly's just lost 2 positions there coming into turn 1. The Williams of Roop Sicola's just gone into the side of the SJC, so hopefully there's no damage there. And actually, Roop Sicola's just gone off the track and just looks like they've overtaken off track. Surely that position is going to have to be given back. Oh, and there's a huge crash. Wow, there's contact there between Handflap Kelly and I think it was Roop Sicola. Looked like going one way, going the next, and then just with the DRS open, getting that car really unsettled. So what you were going to ask me is now it now doesn't really matter because Handflap Kelly's lost positions. But what you were alluding to was potentially Shoot Fizzle backing up JPS to give DRS to Handflap Kelly to help them defend and potentially help them get past that Mercedes. But that's not going to be happening anytime soon with the second Aston Martin being in P5. JPS bearing down on the back of Shoot Fizzle now. It looks like they're really ramping up the pace. Kept a nice gap towards the cars behind, but nothing happening just yet.
Yes, now we've got gaps closing between the top 2 though. As we go down towards the final corner, can JPS get his way by the Mercedes? Luke's got the DRS, but will they want to make the move at this stage? It is halfway through the race. We're getting to that point. Here comes the Mercedes into turn 1. Should not be able to do much into the braking zone, but can potentially keep the car there in order to make sure that the Mercedes cannot get the best run. They will have the DRS and now be able to blast past the Mercedes into turn 4, and that is a move certainly done. Here comes Roop Sicola around the outside of the soft running Alpine, trying to make the move stick, and does make it stick. Roop Sicola up into P3, and Nat Williams is certainly trying to now make moves and get his way towards his rivals up front, which are JPS, Shoot Fizzle, and this could be the chance, considering those guys are fighting in front. But he'll need to try and pull away from the drivers behind as we now go down the back straight towards turn 11 for the 5th time this race. We are now at the halfway point as we go into turn 11. Can the Mercedes make his way closer and closer to that Aston Martin to get a move properly done into turn 1. It's going to be very difficult. Shoot, looks comfortable, but it's locking up quite significantly. That those front tyres will not be quite helped in terms of tyre wear. Down into that final corner, shoot, locking up, making basically a smoke screen at every braking point for JPS. But here we go, down towards turn 1. Can JPS make his way by, or will he stick behind? He's using up quite a bit of ERS though, as we can see. As we got a 3 wide moment behind for P3, we've got Handflap Kelly, who moves back past both of them and takes P3 away from Rupsicola and Yes JC. But here comes the Alpine. Down towards turn 4. Can Yes JC make his way back? But yes, he does. And back into the podium places. Handflap Kelly unable to do much about that, but has done an excellent job to make that 3 wide and get by both of them into the breaking point of turn 1.
Yeah, this is one of those tracks, especially, and it looks like Handflap Kelly's just gone up the inside. Is he going to make that position stick? He's got it at the moment, but Jess JC's coming up the inside of 10, 9s and 10. He's got the position for now. Is he going to be able to hold it after this DRS zone? Handflap Kelly goes towards the inside to come in up towards turn 11. He's got the position for now. Now we've got Rupsicola going up the inside. Yes, JC has he made the position. Now they're going to hold it alongside each other, and it looks like Rupsicola is going to hang it up around the outside. Yes, JC using up as much of that ERS as possible. There's a little bit of wing flying around, and there's another bang on the wheels for good luck. Looks like Rupsicola's now got damage, so that's going to be a difficult one for them to fend off. Yes, JC going up the inside, up towards the last corner. Are they going to have DRS? Because where they went through the detection zone, if so, that's going to be really beneficial for them on this start-finish straight now. No, they don't have DRS, and neither does Handflap Kelly. But Handflap Kelly's got the slipstream to be able to pull up themselves up along the inside. We've got 3 wide now because Rupsicola goes well up the inside, takes that apex, and is able to get past both of them. We've got Yes JC and Handflap Kelly still up alongside each other. We've got Speed Queen now going up the inside, up towards turn 4, taking DRS. Is going to be... I can't run out of words.
It is very, very tight. It is very, very difficult. I'll let you have a breath for a minute. But Speed Queen tried to make the move there, and Yes JC and Handflap Kelly and all their infighting almost lost not just 1 but 2 positions. There's a bit of contact there. That is Yes JC partially round. He's luckily managed to get back going quite quickly. However, has now lost a position to Speed Queen, and this is quite crucial as we now go down the back straight towards turn 11. Both of all 3 of these drivers behind Rupsicola have got DRS, but here comes Handflap Kelly into turn 11, makes the move stick. There's a yellow flag. That is Mark Baller as at turn 3. So that is, I don't hope that doesn't cause any sort of calamities or yellow flags or safety cars even. As we now go down towards the penultimate corner. As we've got Rupsicola now trying to catch it back up to the Aston Martin of Handflap Kelly. He desperately does not want this to be a double podium for the Aston Martin squad. As we now go through the final corner, can Yes JC goes absolutely off the circuit, decides he wants to go to the next race already. As we now see Rupsicola trying to attack but also having to defend. Here comes Speed Queen as we go down towards turn 1. Can Rupsicola make a move? That goes for his turn at defense into an attack, and Rupsicola has made his way by the Aston Martin using the green British Racing Green driver to try and get a bit of a defense on Speed Queen, and has nailed that around the outside. He has to defend from a diving Handflap Kelly, but makes that one stick even with damage. It is that Williams is doing an excellent job. We now go down towards the turn 7. Turn 8, sorry. And can the Aston Martin do anything? No, they can't, because the Aston Martin of Handflap Kelly's just lost the position to Speed Queen after a little error. And that is costly. Dropped them down to the 5th place and potentially out of the chances on the podium. We've got only 2.5 laps left. Can Rupsicola continue to defend from Speed Queen? However, it's going to be quite a difficult one considering that damage.
I wouldn't count out any of these guys from a podium right now. Looking at how they are fighting each other, We've got the DRS that's going to come up. We've got Yes JC who's gradually pulling themselves back into this fight. We've got a funny wave band now with a 3-second time penalty. Speed Queen getting themselves right up towards back wing of that Williams. Are they going to be able to keep those soft tyres in check? They're going to be coming up to the DRS line now, opening that rear wing, going to slipping themselves straight into the slipstream, going for the outside line. We've got Handflap Kelly now gaining as well on the Williams. Is not looking like he's going to be making a move now, but he's lining him up self for a next one. Speed Queen there takes a move around the outside and a really good exit down onto the next straight.
Yeah, and that has given Speed Queen the podium place. There's a bit of contact there, and that might have given Ripsicola even more damage. And not just that, but also Speed Queen's diffuser. And that's allowed Handflap Kelly through for P3, and that has turned everything on their heads. Because now, that whole P3 to P5 group is all of a sudden flipped the other way around with just a lap and a half to go into the left-hander of turn 10. Can Handflap Kelly now depend from Speed Queen? It's going to be quite difficult because that Red Bull has the DRS and is ridiculously close to the Aston Martin up the inside into turn 11. Do they make the move stick? Yes, they do. But here comes the Aston Martin as they try to make a move back on the Red Bull, but can't do much about them. We've now got to go round the penultimate corner. Can Handflap Kelly do anything? No, they can't.
The Aston Martin's got damage. The Aston Martin's got wing damage.
Which one? Handflap Kelly?
Handflap Kelly.
Yeah,
Handflap Kelly, sorry.
Yeah, so Handflap Kelly's got damage. JP, I thought you were talking about Shoot Fizzle then. I was going to say.
Oh, Shoot Fizzle. Shoot Fizzle's fine.
Okay, so that Aston Martin is now limping home with the final lap of the race. We're going to see nothing about happening at the top two, but here comes Handflap Kelly, makes his way back into the podium place, but for how long? They've run out of VRS before the opportunity. Up the inside goes Ripsicola, almost making that move stick, but they're going to go side by side. There's more contact between the two. Over the gravel goes to Williams. That might have cost them both a podium in this sprint because their continuous fighting has allowed Speed Queen to keep that position, and that Red Bull does not have damage, whereas those two behind certainly do. We now go through Sector 2. Can the Red Bull continue to defend? A bit wide there for Handflap Kelly. This is the opportunity for the Williams of Ripsicola to try and make a move, or the Red Bull to try and get away, but he's not quite enough. But it seems like Handflap Kelly considerably struggling at this stage. We're now going to go towards turn 11. JPS potentially losing his last chance for P1. We'll keep on with these guys. Here comes Ripsicola down towards turn 11. They make the moves almost stick, but here they're going to continue to go side by side. The Williams does so, moves to P4, drops Aston Martin down to P5. Speed Queen pulls away a little bit, but is that all that's said and done? We've got to go back to the race lead, because around the final corner, here comes Shoot Fizzle. He's defended well, he's done everything he needed to, and he moves into he continues a win streak and moves to P1 and finishes there. JPS finishes in P2. Speed Queen comes home in third. P4 for Handflap Kelly. This is getting really close as Ripsicola tries to make the move. 800 separating the two at the end as Ripsy finishes P5. Yes, JC P6, Marsh Russell P7, Quick Melly P8, Funny Wayban finishes P9 with their Cooley in P10. Soda and Mark Baller did not finish the race, but that is only the sprint. We've now got an 18-minute qualifying session, followed up by a 29 lap race in completely different temperature conditions. It is going to be a night time session for both. After all that, how are you feeling, Steve?
I've run out of breath a bit then.
Yeah, same here.
I'm not used to those longer bits. I normally come in for a quarter and that's it.
Well,
and half a lap.
Yeah, I saw you start struggling. I was like, oh well, here we go. So Jay's apparently sprint race win streak has now been broken because Shoot Fizzle wins this one ahead of JPS. We've got now 18 minutes of quali to go, and they're all a chance once more to make their positions up by in time for the race, which is probably going to last about 40 minutes. We've got a chance now to get everyone reset and get themselves into the zone as who? So we're just going to take a brief break just to give ourselves a bit of a breath catch. Why is the AI all turned up? Why the AI of all to? Why does it still say? Oh no, there you go. It's all gone now. I was going to say, but we'll be back in a brief moment. We're just going to catch our breath. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for the qualifying session. We have a couple of drivers already out on circuit with with a couple of drivers already starting to set their lap times. Ripsicola being one of them, going through sector 2 right now. I don't know if anyone else is at this stage, but we're going to continue on anyway. So Ripsicola down towards turn 9 and turn 10. Gets a bit of that back end did not look too comfortable there, but continues on down towards turn 11. It's a little bit of slip through turn 10. Down towards turn 11 now. Can Ripsicola get up the get a decent banker on the ball? 28.8 and a 28.9 have been set so far for Yes JC and Funny Wave Band. Down towards the penultimate corner. Can the Williams get their way onto what is a provisional pole for banker laps as we go down towards that final corner, final braking zone of the lap? as into that final break. So Rupsicola up towards the line. Does Rupsicola get fastest? Yes, they do, by 0.8 of a second. 28.0, followed up by a 28.0 of his own by Shoot Fizzle. 6 thousandths difference between the two, and we now have Quick Melee in 28.6 as well, and this is just kicking off. As Shoot Fizzle has only a little bit of a gap, but everyone is starting to set their lap times. So we've got Constant Soda, or who's next? Sorry, not Constant Soda. It will be Mark Baller, who is next across the line. He goes around the penultimate corner and up to the final corner. Can the Williams get up there with their teammate, or will they struggle a little bit more up towards the line? Can Mark Baller get there? 29.0, a good second off the pace at the moment, and that is not good for the Williams. If he just bankered, he's made a mistake, then good luck to him. But we now we've now got a couple other drivers just coming up to the line now. JPS will be the next one. He may have encountered a little bit of traffic there though on his in lap, because up towards the line he goes to 28.1, puts himself right in there with Shoot Fizzle and Rupsicola. Stig, your turn.
Am I unmuted now?
Yeah, you're unmuted now. Welcome back.
Okay, I can be behaved now. Oh, there's been contact between Rupsicola and I think that's Shoot Fizzle coming around sector 2 there. Is Shoot Fizzle coming into the pits, or where is he doing? Yes, Shoot Fizzle coming into the pits. I think both Aston Martins coming into the pits. No, they're not. Hamflap Kelly is starting a lap now, getting a nice slipstream off of his teammate. So that's why Shoot Fizzle didn't come into the pits. Hard on the brakes now for this very acute turn 1. Takes a lot of curb there. That's quite a difficult one to do, but it looks like it's all paid out for him. Running nicely around the exit. Taking the apex of turn. Is that technically turn 3? Yeah, I think it is. Showing that DRS coming up around the end of sector 1. I don't have my lap data turned on, so I don't have anything going. Apparently it's a purple sector, but we don't believe that because it's Coded Masters game. EA. Coming up a little bit of a lock up there. The round turn, I can't remember what turn number that is. Turn 8? Yeah. Turn 9, 10 now. Nicely done there. Still getting that slipstream off of his teammate. Shoot Fizzle being a real team player here to try and help his teammate up further up the field. I don't know if they did. Do you know if they rotated this?
No, they haven't, which is
okay. Well, it's quite nice showing there from Shoot Fizzle to be the real team player here. It looks like a pretty clean sector 2 nonetheless. Last couple of corners now in sector 3. Last couple of up in the lap. Big lock up there, missing the apex massively. That's going to not help his lap time that much. Shoot Fizzle was on a lap. 127.9. We weren't expecting that. It's a 128.2 for Hamflap Kelly there. So not a bad lap at all.
Yeah, both of them doing a decent lap there. Puts himself in P1 and P4 respectively. Shoot Fizzle extending his advantage a little bit there, as most of the drivers are in the pit lanes except JPS and the 2 Aston Martins. JPS currently on a lap. We're going to go down towards turn 11 for we just passed the 10-minute mark. We've got 9.5 minutes to go. JPS looking to go for his second run and try and put himself right there with Shoot Fizzle. He is a couple temps up. But is that enough? Round the long right hander now, up towards turn 13. Goes fastest sector 2, 3 temps up on his personal best. That'll put him right in the mix with Shoot Fizzle down towards the final corner. Can the Mercedes put it on par? He showed good pace in sprint quality and the sprint. Can he show good pace in qualifying when conditions are cooler? Out to the line, 27.7. That goes fastest provisional pole for the Mercedes, but the times will continue to tumble. We've got a couple more drivers now coming out of the pit lanes as everyone files out for their second runs. In this, what would you be thinking right now, Stig, if you're JPS or your Shoot Fizzle, you're fighting up for pole with one another? You need to make sure you get you maximise every point of the lap. What would you be taking away from your previous lap and heading into the next one?
got a good banker. Now push a bit harder. Go back, look at the sector time, see where I'm missing out. I mean, most of the time, if you say where shoot fizzle is, you roughly know where you've lost out a bit of time, but it's a slight lock up. You've missed the apex slightly, or it's fairly self-explanatory. But yeah, unfortunately, we did have Gary in the game, but it looks like we don't anymore. So that is a real shame to not see the mystery machine tonight, because it'll really help the championship battle towards the end of the season. But anyway, no mystery machine tonight, it seems.
But
yeah. All of the drivers coming back into the pits now, it seems, to fuel up, get us a new set of tyres, and to go again. Actually, no, forget that, because Speed Queen's just started a lap going around turn 1.
We'll go to Speed Queen now. Then it is, as the Red Bull been pretty quiet so far this week, this evening, as the Red Bull looks to try and get a good run in, go through turn 4 and now down towards turn 5, 6 and 7. Very difficult to get right. It's really just one line you need to manage, but it's a very difficult line to get that done. A lock up on the front right. That Red Bull needs to get into that top group, because they have been struggling in the sprint quality and the sprint session. Lock up again into turn 10. That Red Bull, and they invalidate that, and the Speed Queen has completely ruined their lap at this stage. Luckily, they got time to go again, but that has left them with no banker at this stage, and we're already 2/3 of the way into session. We've only got a third of it left to go. This could be crucial for them. We've now got everyone else currently. We've got a couple of other drivers out on track. We've got Yes JC, who went up to P4 28-0, put themselves right in the mix as well. We've got I think we've got Quek Melee, who was, I believe, is currently on the lap, currently though 2/10 down on what they'd done previously, and they've come into the pits at the end of that. And now we've got Mark Bowler, who is next up to lose the line. Can the Williams? No, they don't. They're going to back off entirely. So is it going to be funny way back? No, they've also invalidated. JC isn't on a lap, so it will be Marchmeister, our the founder and the owner of the league. Can the Haas get their way up the table, yet to set a time along with Speed Queen and Soda? So we've now got 12 drivers, and only 9 of them have set a lap time. Down towards turn 10, can the Haas continue on for and try and get a decent starting position as we go down towards turn 11? DRS closed shut as we go into the braking point through along turn 11. It just feels like it goes on forever because it changes its complexion throughout it. It's down through turn 12 and into turn 13. Lock up there of that front right tyre, and the Haas not looking the most comfortable to drive at this stage. Down towards the final braking point. Where does Marchmeister put themselves into that final corner? Decent run through there, no major error of sorts up towards the line. Where does Marchmeister go? It's a 27.9, puts himself P3, only 200s off championship leader Shoot Fizzle, but a couple tips behind JPS in P1.
Pretty good showing from JPS and actually Marchmeister. It's an interesting one for Marchmeister. He normally leads it to the last end of the session. But it looks like they've given themselves enough time to do a couple of laps tonight, which I'm sure will be welcomed for themselves. So yeah, everyone just collecting themselves together. Yeah, because Mark Baller is possibly coming into the pits or starting a lap. What do we reckon? I think that's coming into the pits.
Yeah, coming to the pits. So everyone else, apart from March, currently in the pits. But it's quite interesting that JPS is now starting to pick up the pace. Is it a bit too late in the season, considering? Because they are fairly far behind. Yeah, they're still roughly in it, but it's quite difficult to make that gain at this stage in the season. What can JPS do much about that? It has been a difficult time of things, down in P5 in the championship, and is 41 points off of championship leader Shoot Fizzle. Yes, it's possible to get back, but it does take a while, and you've got to have shoot fizzle make quite big errors to really hammer it home. So we'll see whether he can. But with March coming to the pits, we won't be left with no one on track, because Hamblap Kelly has come out of the pits as we get to the final stages of qualifying. With that, with now everyone coming out the pits, you've got TTV. Well, not it used to be TTV. Yes, it's now TikTok. Yes, JC. So you got Yes JC and Hamblap Kelly. The only two out on the track at the moment. Everyone else just waiting that little bit longer. But when do the rest pull the pin? Because it is counting down very quickly, and we've only got. They really need to get out there soon, because they don't want to be tripping over each other too much, but they also want to get the most of the track conditions. We now have Hamblap Kelly, who will be the first to start a lap as we go round towards turn 13. Can the Aston Martin...
It's going to be a little bit difficult for Hamblap Kelly, because he's going to be out of sync a little bit with all the drivers coming out on track. So hopefully they don't get in the way too much, because otherwise we might see a little bit of action in Stewart room.
Oh, absolutely. As we now see everyone else file out the pit lane, so we'll see whether Hamblap Kelly can manage it. We're now going to go onto the lap now. DRS for the Aston Martin. It's something I've noticed between the two Aston Martins, is that they've pulled to this left-hand side, the right-hand side of the circuit down towards the first turn. I'm not sure why, but is there any extra grip down there that they can put on the tyres? I'm not sure.
Oh, that's
that is an impeding, quite a big impeding, if you ask me, and that will be a report for Viculi, and that is lucky for Hamblap Kelly to get away with it and be able to go for another warm-up. But all these drivers are right close with each other, and this is not going to help their chances, because they're all going to be tripping over each other, and they've all got to get a lap in. They've only got a minute 20 left in the session. No one's really in a good position right now, as TTV Yes is now coming on his lap, and he might trip up all over all four of these cars. We go down towards turn 7. Guys, you might want to quickly get out of the way. There is someone on their lap as they go through turn 8. The Alpine goes through it. That might be a bit of an impeding there from the Aston Martin. I'm not sure which one that was. But now down towards... Was it Hamblap Kelly? Yeah. So, unfortunate for him. The McLaren gets out of the way, so does the Ferrari, but here... well, now he's weaving a bit. But Ferrari does need to get out of the way, because TTV Yes, it's just... oh, there you go. He gets out of the way quite... just throws himself off track there. We go through turn 11. Down towards turn 12. This is very difficult to get right. You do not want to have too little rear wing and too much front wing there. But now through turn 13.
Imagine if there was 13 cars on track and Gary Gator stayed in the lobby.
Well, I mean, it'd be add a little bit more to this chaos at the end of the session, with only 18 seconds left. Quite a few drivers yet to cross the line, and TTV, yes, JC has pitted. Ooh. But I feel like they were quite impeded in that lap time, so I guess they just did that in pure frustration. With the rest now starting their flying laps or coming to the end of it. We've got Rupsikola, who's currently on a lap, but his teammate Mark Balder is quite far ahead, 8 thousandths up on their first sector time. Can they make the improvements lead? They got Speed Queen behind. This group of 4 here have had quite a quiet time of things, because they've all kind of gone out a bit earlier, and they've kind of kept themselves to themselves. So Mark Balder down towards the final corner. Can the Williams make the necessary improvements to get up the field? Now just a straight run to the line. Where does the Williams go? It is a P10 still, does not improve. Speed Queen goes fastest. Statement. There we go. So that goes far, even faster goes JPS by 0.2 of a second. Is that what they need? Quick Melly up towards the line. Doesn't improve on their position. Who's next? It is Rupsikola. Currently 0.2 down. That Williams is not looking to make much improvement, as they were all kind of struggling with the optimised to try and optimise their outlap. Is that going to be the ending factor? Up towards the line. Where does the Williams go? And they go, they remain in P5 for now. Vekuli remains in P8. Shoot Fizzle remains in P3. Only improves a tad. And that is unfortunate for the Aston Martin. Up towards the line, so the Soda and Funny Wayband, they don't improve. Marchmeister, do they improve? No, they don't. And Handflap Kelly crosses the line last. But that will leave JPS with the pole position in qualifying. Excellent stuff from the Mercedes, putting their name in the hat for the race win. But Speed Queen for turning up now, putting themselves into the front running after a difficult, basically first hour of this session. As we now end the session, we just wait for the screen to load. But that was quite an exciting qualifying session. Mercedes on pole for the first time in quite a few races.
It's a bit of a different grid there, with Speed Queen actually qualifying this time.
Yeah, Speed Queen. It didn't seem like the Red Bull had that pace in the early stages of the session, but it seemed to just picked it up now. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but we're just gonna go to the next session. We didn't even see it. We didn't even see the results screen. So we've now got a 29 lap race to go, 45 minutes, and probably a bit of chaos and a lot of action to go. Strategy wise, you can make a soft hard work if you're nice to your softs early on, but a couple of people will probably go for a medium hard or a soft hard. There's quite a few different strategies you can make work here, but it depends also on safety cars and everything. So now we're going to see who will take the race victory. You've got a formation lap to go yet. What tyres does everyone go on? Nice to see Gary's AI is still here though. But we've now got JPS, Speed Queen, Shoot Fizzle, Handflap Kelly, Marchmeister, Ripsicola, Yes JC, Vekuli, Quick Melee, Constant Soda, Funny Wayband, and Mark Baller. That is our grid. It seems like it's a bit mixed up overall, in considering Shoot normally qualifies on pole, but gets outdone by both Speed Queen and JPS.
Yeah, I'm not surprised really. Speed Queen looks very strong in the in race pace in the sprint. So it'd be very interesting now to see them join this lead group.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see whether that has any effect. We've got a couple of drivers switching onto the mediums, including JPS and Shoot Fizzle and Rupsy Cola. The rest remaining on softs at this time. We'll see whether that has any implications. Smart Baller also switching to the mediums. And we'll see what we can see what everyone else does. Everyone, I believe, staying on the softs. Who decides? Who will do the ultimate opposite and decide to go hard? So I don't think many would, considering how close the field is early on. And I'll say that Shoot's been listening. Shoot's listening. He's gone to hards. But
There's a lot of softs there.
A lot of softs, but quite a few mediums starting to turn up now. All of a sudden, everyone started to turn up the mediums. They thought, well, let's not play about here. The medium hards might work. I mean,
everyone's got back from their toilet break.
Yeah, thanks, Shoot. But at least I know Shoot's listening.
On the mediums.
Yeah, at least I know Shoot's been listening because he is listening to. As
soon as I said
as soon as I said about the hards, that man switched to the hards. At least I know he's listening. Good job, fella. As they now get underway, a lot of drivers switching to the mediums. We've still got March, Vekuli, Soda, Funny Wayband on the softs. As a couple of people get disqualified from a session, Quick Melee and Vekuli, and must have had a little bit of contact between them. As we now get ourselves underway for the formation lap, as everyone just tries to get their tyres a little bit of temperature in there. Just a bit JPS hold on to his from his pole position and get the race win, or will Speed Queen or Shoot Fizzle overcome them? Will Handflap Kelly do something? It could be anyone's game as we get you've got a 29 lap race. It is always up for grabs. Just be there because you need to make sure, if you're not in, if you need to be in it to win it. You cannot afford a retirement. We'll see whether anyone holds that one high or whether they decide to just retire in the pits after an instant. But we hope not, because we need everyone. Because if you you could be last by 30 seconds, but all of a sudden you could be winning the race in 10 within the next 5 laps due to some sort of mega incident. Anything can happen.
Ferrari just gone made their own track in sector 2.
I mean, whatever they decide, I guess. You've got another driver, Mark Bowler, who has been disqualified from the session. Is this our session of disqualifications, guys? Because if we want to start our race on cold tyres, it's going to be a bit chaotic.
Well, I've got an AI on the grid as well, so that's an interesting one.
I hope they're ghosted.
They are currently.
They should be then.
I hope they win.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine the scenes? This AI comes through and wins. That would be absolutely incredible.
If in 45 minutes' time that AI has won this race, I might actually. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. But
I'll give them the championship.
At this point, I don't even know. So if it gets to that point, I'm actually quite concerned of what's happened in this race. But we've got everyone now lining up on the grid for the final time. And we will be getting, well, I hope for the final time, red flags are a thing. So we could see that one happen. But
Can do.
if I've got everyone lining up, we will be getting underway. We've got everyone loading. It is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights for round 9 at Bahrain. And it's lights out, and away we go. Speed Queen gets decent starts. JPS Shoot Thistle doesn't get the best to start there alongside Marchmeister into turn 1, as it looks like that second phase as Fekuli goes across the curve and decides no, they don't want to take the corner and gets a bit of damage off Speed Queen, and Shoot Thistle moves up to P2, dropping Speed Queen to 3rd. Is side by side though for P5. Around the outside goes Rupsi Cola on yes, JC. And they make the move stick. No, they're not. There's contact. They're both off. They're both in the barriers. They're very lucky to get away with it in terms of not being out of the race, but both with full front wing damage. And now there's an accident waiting to happen.
Oh, and that was a very unsafe rejoin there as TikTok JC just drove straight in front of the coolie. You're coming back onto the track. Well, that's going to be looked into by the stewards, surely. Yeah, absolutely. And not just that, I believe someone also has a 10-second time penalty. It is Mark Bowler. I believe he had a collision with Soda, as we now got VSC. But those two, full front wing damage, lucky to be in the race. But that is absolutely not what they need. Green flag's underway once more, but Vekuli's caught up in that. We might want to keep an eye on that one. Both them going wide. They decided to follow each other. Lads, please do not crash at this stage. They're still fighting. They're going to continue fighting with no front wings. Lads, just take it easy on each other. You've had a collision. Just get yourself settled back into the race. There's no point fighting anymore. But they're going to continue on. We now got the battle of the race lead happening once more. Down towards turn 1. Can Shoot do anything about JPS? The Mercedes continues to lead the way. But here comes Soda. They make the dive and they didn't make it stick because they ran wide. And that has dropped them not just 1 but 2 positions as the March and Albert Kelly regain P4 and P5. The McLaren did not have that one entirely scouted. We're now going to go around turn 4. JPS continuing to lead the way. However, it is still all to play for. We're going to go down towards sector 2. Can Shoot do anything about the Mercedes in front? Complete role reversal this time, because in the sprint we had the Mercedes chasing down the British Racing Green Aston Martin. This time British Racing Green Aston Martin is right on the back of that Mercedes. But can it do anything about it? In the DRS zone now, are they going to be able to catch it all? No, it doesn't look like it. Going to sit behind for now. Speed Queen as well, just sticking there, just waiting for the time to pounce.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Germany v Britain, as we've seen before in many occasions in history. But can the Silver Arrow beat the British Racing Green? But we'll have to see as we go down towards the final corner. Can or will it be an Austrian team making that name known? We'll have to see. We've got a lot of racing to go yet. JPS not getting quite the exit they want, because and while Shoot Fizzle has that DRS and is right up the gearbox and flies by down towards turn 1. This might not just be 1 position lost from the Mercedes, it might be 2. Speed Queen tries actually backs out of that move entirely, and that keeps them in line astern for the moment. However, Mark tries to try to defend from Handflap, Kelly in the Aston Martin, and McLaren of Constant Soda in his top 6 still within DRS one another. March on those softs, and same with Soda. Those two looking to try and use them and maximise them to try and keep up with the rest of this pack.
Yeah, those softs are going to be hard to keep in the window, though. So I think they're only going to have another few laps of where they can actually fight against these mediums, because they're just going to die off way too quickly. It's a very abrasive circuit here, and it's just not going to be. It's going to be the tyres are just going to grind up.
Well, we've said this before, but the mediums in this circuit are not the best. We've seen they only last a lap or maybe two longer, unless they're taken care of around here. So, according to trajectories, so we'll have to see whether that has any impact, but they seem to be running at the same sort of pace right now. We're now going to go down towards the final corner. Can Shoot defend his position from JPS down this main straight? It could be crucial. He'd already extended his lead in the championship today by a couple, even further, due to his race win in the sprint. Can he do so in this main race? JPS looking to make a move. He's got company from Speed Queen behind. He's got to decide on making this move this time into turn 1. He does the move. He tries to push Shoot wide, but Shoot's going to keep the nose in, and they've got to give each other room, and they continue to fight well, but Shoot's going to have to DRS down towards turn 4. And Shoot
none of them let do.
Shoot gets up to P1 once more, and JPS cannot do much about that.
Okay. Probably worth noting that the AI of Gary Gate is actually in P10 to get points.
We're going to see whether that Salva gets to... Well, at least we can talk about the Mystery Machine. But we're going to see whether the Mystery Machine actually gets there in terms of race. We'll just leave that one to it for the rest of it. But Shoot, JPS, Speed Queen, March Rice, the Handflap Kelly, Soda. That's our top 6 of Mark Balder falling to the wayside as they go. Drop further and further away from this battle, but someone who is dropping further and further away is Soda. They're starting to struggle on those softs, and they're not keeping up with this front running pace. Lock up there from Shoot Vissel as we go down towards the penultimate corner. Can JPS get back into that race lead, or will the pole sitter continue to struggle to fight that Aston Martin? Shoot does look quick and does look to have the pace in terms of being able to hold them off. We saw that in the sprint. Can the Aston Martin do that for a full 29 lap race? We're going to go down towards turn 1. Will the Mercedes pull the pin? Go down the inside? They certainly will. They're certainly alongside into turn 1, but Shoot's going to have the outside. That's going to help into turn 2 as they continue to fight. But I think actually JPS has a DRS. We're going to go down towards turn 4. He was behind the DRS detection. Is that going to be enough? Into turn 4. They're continuing to fight. They didn't make any sort of contact, but JPS got squeezed, and Shoot Vissel keeps P1. But that was excellent defending there from Shoot.
Shoot knows exactly where he wants to put the car to defend off that one. He lets the Mercedes go up the inside, but he just pushes them in wide enough in turn 2 to reduce the effect of their run down into turn 4. But it's not giving Speed Queen any chances to consider anything, because the two cars are together. They can't do anything. Coming down around the back straight now, absolutely nothing happening there. That Aston Martin is really slippery in a straight line.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe it's running a bit less drag than the rest of the grid, but we'll see whether the Aston can hold on to it this time round. We're going to go down towards the final corner once more. I'm going to say that a lot this race, I assume, but we're going to go down towards it once more as we go into the final corner. Has a bit of a lock up there from the Aston Martin, not looking entirely comfortable in the braking zone. However, has a little bit of a gap. Here comes JPS on Shoot. Can the Silver Arrow get by this time into turn 1, side by side, and they're going to try and make the move. They're certainly alongside a bit more, but we've seen this once before. Shoot looks to try and get DRS once back on JPS. He has the red light flashing though. Shoot doesn't have as much ERS as what JPS did. Around the outside goes Shoot, defends it once more. Excellent defending from him, and JPS just has to slot back into P2. But for how much longer can Aston Martin hold on? Because that ERS is continuing to drain. Run wide from the Mercedes. The Aston Martin could have their chance because the Red Bull is trying to pressurise the JPS as we go down towards turn 9 and turn 10. It is very close between that top 4. March is basically pushing them, the Red Bull, around that corner of how close they're getting to that rear wing. But Shoot looked to have a little bit of an issue through the exit. However, continues in that race lead as we go through turn 11. It is still very, very close up front.
Carbon copy in sector 1 of the previous lap, wasn't it? What JPS needs to do here is learn from what he's doing. And realistically, what he needs to do is go much deeper on the brakes, or try and force the car to the outside to try and just make Shoot Fizzle do something that he doesn't want to do, to attempt to try and get that car much further alongside and even past, or save the overtake until later on. He's going up the inside again.
Oh,
what's
he's
he going
been
to do this
listening.
time? He's gone way deeper. He's listened that time. He's blocked Shoot Fizzle on the exit, and that has really helped his run because now he's still got the DRS, and that is how you listen to the commentators.
Wow, someone that is certainly someone who has the commentators in their ear. Absolutely astonishing stuff there from the Mercedes. Excellent dive, excellent execution. 10 out of 10 from me. So we're now gonna go down towards a handflap Kelly, absolute dive bomb into turn 8. Can they get the move done on Speed Queen? The Red Bull called napping as we go through there, but the use of a bit of ERS, and that has kept the Red Bull in front. But for how much longer? That Speed Queen looks a bit vulnerable there as we go down towards turn 11. Can the Aston Martin make their way by and make it a double British Racing Green podium? No, they cannot at this time. On as we go through turn 11 and towards turn 12, it is very, very hard to overtake a car who already has DRS in front, because you've now got to try and do it through the corners. They try and do it through the corners because here comes the Aston as they try to force the move up the inside into the penultimate corner. Doesn't make anything stick there. Maybe trying to look for a move into the final corner, not quite, as Big Queen covers that off quite well. Continues to run quite comfortably. We're going on to lap 8 of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Can JPS now pull away from Shoot? He's got quite a big gap here. Speed Queen looking to make a move potentially into turn 1. Goes for the dive. Championship rivals try and fight. Speed Queen trying to make a move. That might have cost Shoot a little bit more as they're going to try and fight each other now. Down towards turn 4. Can Speed Queen make any sort of lunge? No, they do not. Shoot defends that one once more. Well, and there's a bit of contact there, and JPS is round. Shoot's put JPS round. That is absolutely disheartening for the Mercedes. Our race leader gets caught out, and that has cost him potentially not just the race win, not just a podium, but many points in this race. A lot of tyre wear as well. Around the outside, Handflap Kenny, Marchmeister side by side for the podium now. They're going to go. This could be crucial. Handflap Kenny, Marchmeister takes back the podium. They were once on briefly, and now they take it into turn 11. A bit of back end loss there. That's going to cost them time to the top 2, who now need to run away. This is their opportunity to get away from these 3, and this could be game, set, and match as the Handflap Kenny trying to get his bait. Goodbye. Look left, look right, but couldn't do anything much. We're going to go down towards the final corner, and it looks like Handflap Kenny cannot do anything about the Haas in front. But March might have lost out of DRS. Is that too little? Too late for March? Going to go down towards turn 1. No DRS for the Haas. We're going to look to the race lead as well. It's 2 by 2 for the drivers in front. Speed Queen, Shoot Fizzle, side by side. Speed Queen took the opportunity, pushes Shoot a little bit wide, a bit of contact mid-corner, and that has allowed the Red Bull to take the race lead. March has lost the position. Down Black Kenny in P3. Soda is remaining in P5 at this time, but it is all kicked off for the race, the battle for the race lead and top positions.
Absolutely gutting for JPS over the past couple of laps, because he was really showing himself to be a real contender for this race. But now it looks like it's between Speed Queen and Shoot Fizzle. But Hamflap Kelly has broken away a little bit from the cars behind Marchmeister and Constant Soda. So we are starting to get a little bit of breakaway. JPS starting to catch up to the back of the McLaren and the Haas in front of them, possibly considering something different with the strategy at this point. Do they come in, try and make up a little bit of time to get through these two, because these two are going to be fighting hard?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a bit of struggle there from the Haas as well, and that caused a bit of contact between Soda and March, dragging them off the circuit, and that cost them a ton of time and put them back in the grasp of JPS. Safety car has been deployed. Funny wave ban is out the race. That is crucial as we now go down towards the final corner. Everyone will file into the pitch. Double stack for Aston Martin. That is crucial. Won't affect Shoot Fizzle, but Hamflap Kelly might lose a couple positions here. Meanwhile, everyone else does not have to worry about that in that top group. Actually, I think Soda might be affected by this as well a little bit, because they try and come out the pits, luckily come out without any sort of harm done to them. However, it looked like they could have been boxed in.
I cannot say for Lisa from the McLaren, from the Haas and the McLaren, but we'll see how that goes. Doesn't really matter in the game. Gary Gator, P8, in the pit lane at the moment.
The love for Gary right now, the love for the mystery machine, and we now
big up the mystery machine. Shame
it's
he's not driving himself tonight.
Oh well, we'll see him next week, I guess. We've now got lap 10 on 29. Loads of people have pitted. What has everyone gone for? It is a lot of hard tyres.
Hards.
Yeah, hard all round, except for the mystery machine in P8.
Classic AI strategies there.
Yeah, so no, I think your wish about them winning is
got medium as well, at the back for the SJC.
Yes, so I think your wish about that mystery machine victory isn't happening tonight, mate, considering AI strategy.
Oh, well, here's what it is. But this is going to be... this is a bit of luck for JPS, because at least he's back in the main group as such. Even though he's got a few cars to break through, it's not all over.
It could be it could be a difficult one for the drivers like Rupsiko and JC. They got quite a few drivers to get through as well. But JPS, having led this race and done quite well, it's all been undone because of Shoot Fizzle. I'm sure there's going to be some reports here, but we'll see.
I mean, that's a slam dunk penalty. There's nothing to argue about that one.
It's just how much.
There's a few things that's already happened this race. It's going to be clear penalties. But that's not for us to decide. That is for the stewards to work out and feedback to you all later on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we're now going to... I'll stop myself now because of that.
I was just about to say it. Like, as you said it, I was going to say
it. Right, well, so I had to stop myself there now. Right,
You're so conscious about saying it.
I'm now conscious because I've got to now just tripping up on my words. Great. So, Speed Queen, Shoot Fizzle. We're going to lead the way. Soda in P3, ahead of Marchmeister in P4, Hamflap Kelly P5, and P6 for JPS. With Quick Melly P7, Fekuli P8, Gary Gator P9, Mark Baller P10, Rupsy Cola P11, and JC P12. Funny way about the only retirement from this race so far. Everyone looking to use their hards and go to the end. Possible, the hards do last a while, but difficult if you don't manage them.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Right, so you know that bingo card we were talking about? Gonna need that.
That's definitely going on it.
Yeah, that is. We think there's a lot of stuff that's going to go on it as well.
There are some people that are so confused right now because they have no idea what we're laughing about. But there'll be some people that absolutely can tell what it is.
Well, so one particular is our producer, but
Our producer is privy to all.
yeah, he's privy to all more than we are. Safety car in this
Safety
lap.
car in.
Yeah, that's it. That's enough of us waffling. They're lucky we don't
We
stop
have to
going.
fill the safety car with something.
Well, I mean, we used to fill it with helmet talk, didn't we? We used to talk about the drivers' helmets and rate them, didn't we, back in the day?
All right, let's keep it clean now. Come on, this is a family channel.
All right, only you had to make this one dirty. But here we go. We've got just over half the race. We've got well over half the race to go. So you go, Speed Queen leading the way. When did they go? They pulled the trigger right there and then. Shoot Fizzle, least expected, and now got a fairly large gap, comfortable gap if I say so, in towards turn one. This is allowing Soda to go after the Aston Martin. Can Shoot Fizzle defend? Here comes the McLaren. Do they make any sort of move? No, they do not. But everyone remains line astern into turn one as we go through turn two, turn three, and and up towards turn four. Can Speed Queen defend from Shoot Fizzle? Can Shoot Fizzle defend from Soda? They pulled a little bit of a gap to the McLaren, who's trying to now pull away from the Haas behind them. We go through sector 2, but it's all remained line astern.
Yeah, nice gap there for Speed Queen for now. But as soon as that DRS gets activated, that gap is going to get eaten up quickly.
Yes, certainly. That's another one that needs to go onto there as well. Speed Queen trying to pull that gap, but Shoot Fizzle as well trying to close it because they're trying to also pull away from the group behind. They desperately need to because they do not want to be stuck with a whole trainer behind them when they're trying to have their own little separate battle. Can Shoot get by Speed Queen? The Red Bull just getting pushed along by the Aston Martin. Can Shoot do anything? Has a little look on that wheel. You could tell that Aston Martin thought of it, but decided not to. Decided to play it smart. We're now going to go down towards the final corner. Looks for a move up the inside into the final corner. That puts the Aston Martin offline. But the Red Bull manages to swoop around the outside and keep that position. But for how long? No DRS as we go on to lap 13. But there will be DRS down towards turn 4. It's about whoever gets it. Going to go side by side into turn 1. Speed Queen dives it a bit, gets a bit later. Speed Queen trying to defend from Shoot Fizzle. He's got the outside. This is how he defended from JPS. Is it going to be how they attack? No, they can't. Speed Queen has DRS. Is it around the outside? Go Shoot. Shoot goes very wide there to try and maximise the speed around the corner and takes the lead on lap 13. Excellent stuff there from the Aston Martin.
She was not messing around there at all, really trying to get up the inside. And there goes Marchmeister up the inside of Soda. Can they keep that one together around the outside of turn 9 and 10? It looks like they are. Soda goes back up the inside, careful not to lock up those brakes. And there goes Hampel Kelly up the inside of the McLaren and spins it out.
And that is another VSC for this race. And there's not really much Soda or anyone could do there because...
that was very opportunistic.
That was very opportunistic from Hampel Kelly. Dives it and just did not manage. Just did not manage to get the car stopped in time, and that is race ruining from an Aston Martin who has been doing very well in this first half of the race. Is now down to P12, well out of it, and a VSC is not going to help them catch back up. Drive through penny for Shoot. Shoot's got a drive through.
Wow.
That is big. He's pulled
That
straight.
is absolutely huge.
He's pulled straight in the pits. 10
Oh,
seconds
and he's got 10 seconds. Wow.
Oh my god!
God.
I've jumped out. I've jumped out there in like absolute shock. And now Speed Queen leads the way ahead of Marchmeister JPS in P3. Soda P4. He had to drop behind JPS for some reason. And another nice game. Hampel Kelly's retired from the session after all that. And that here we go. See Quick Melly, Rupsicola side by side. Bit of contact there as Rupsicola pulls back into position. But the Williams moved back up to P5. It's all over the back of the McLaren now. This has completely opened things up as we now go down towards turn 8. Up the inside goes Rupsicola, tries to make the move stick, but doesn't do anything there. Couldn't get alongside, as we now see Soda trying to defend from the Williams as we go down towards that double left-hander. And doesn't have the best of runs. Rupsicola hits him up the back once more. But this race has been completely flipped.
Yeah, I mean, could be anyone's game right now. We've got DRS is very prominent around this track. We've got 3 different cars. Well, we'll say different. Not really. We've just got 1 different car. We've got Marshmeister now fighting for the lead. He wasn't in the front group before, really.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't. As we now, I'm just going to keep doing it now. I'm going to be so conscious of this next rest of this race. And then I'll forget about it and then we'll go through this whole thing again. But we've now got P1. The battle for P1, the battle for P4 got raging on. We're going to see Speed Queen continue to pull away from a little bit more because they've managed to defend a little bit more, but Rupsicola's made the move into P4. Soda drops to P5 now as their teammate for company, who is in P6. But this is not over yet. Rupsicola having a bit of DRS there. But here goes March. March up the inside for the race lead. Can the Haas do so? Yeah, almost. But Speed Queen trying to come back at them around the outside. No, they can't. I think they're going to keep the nose in. It is just not enough. Marchmeister takes the lead. What is this race? It is absolutely just gone on its head. Marchmeister leads the way ahead of Speed Queen, ahead of JPS. This is the opportunity for Speed Queen, JPS and Rupsi to make gains, not just on Gary because he's not in the race at all, but on Shoot, who is out the points. And this, well, you'll gain a point because Gary he'll get shuffled up once Gary's gone. But it is crucial that this is crucial points in this championship, and they're now losing to Marchmeister, who is now looking to take their first race win of the season. We're on lap 15 of 29. We're over halfway through, and we've got these guys all running on hard compound tyres, potentially trying to go to the end. Soda has now dropped down to P6. Quick Melly moves up to P5. And the McLarens continue to fight. They're fighting over P5. Here comes Speed Queen. Not just 1 position loss for Marchmeister. It will be 2. But here comes JPS. He looks to the outside. It's going to be side by side. Into turn 1. Can Speed Queen defend? Yes, they do. JPS sits behind P2, but will have DRS down towards turn 4. This is going to be JPS's opportunity to try and make a move. No, they can't. Speed Queen manages to just hold on as we go through turn 4. And now it is on.
Well, I think March has just led his first racing lap of the season with that one. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. But yeah, that's a really interesting one. We did not expect to see Marchmeister up on the podium today, but it looks like Rupsicola wants to have a bit of a look in because he's just poking up around the inside. He's gonna look. He's not gonna be able to make anything work for now, but let's see what happens later on down the lap.
Yeah, we're gonna see whether March, because March has actually shown very good pace here. It's shown the best pace he's shown all season, if you don't mind me saying, because he's keeping up with JPS and Speed Queen, and Rupsicola, who all have been top tier drivers this season, and they're gonna all continue to fight. And March is right in the mix as we now go down towards the final corner for the 16th time. As we now see Quick Melly move ahead of Soda as they continue their papaya war down in P5. Here comes JPS. Can the Mercedes make it back to the race lead? Yes, they do. No contention there into turn 1 from Speed Queen. And now this is the opportunity for JPS to try and move away as quickly as possible, because that Red Bull is going to be hot on their tails if they do not throughout Sector 2. As we go down towards through turn 4, through turn 5, it is continuous fighting though, but for the battle from P5 to P8, we're going to see Soda drop off the back of Quick Melly through the next couple corners, and now has the Cooley all over the back of them. Yes, JC trying to make something of this race. However, these three fighting is going to let Quick Melly get away quite well. We're now back to the race lead. Can JPS get away, but he can't do much. It is very difficult to get away on this game. Very difficult to break DRS. We now go through towards turn 13 as the Mercedes, just who was on pole at the start of this race, hasn't had the most easy of races, is now trying to get back, trying to take that victory after everything that has happened. He's got a lot of reason to fight though. We're going to see Vekuli, Soda side by side. Vekuli pushes Soda a little bit wide there. They've dropped down to P7. We're going to go back down to the race lead. As P3, Rubsicola and Marchmeister side by side, as well as for Speed Queen and JPS. They went 2 by 2, but they've all ended up single file through the exit as Speed Queen retakes the lead. Shoot Visual fastest of that. As we go down towards turn 4, can JPS make his way by? He just does not seem like they can make quite the overtake, get quite the run in towards turn 4. It is looking like Speed Queen though has got good pace and he's just doing enough. However, JPS is trying everything, but he can't pull away, and he's now just stuck behind the Red Bull.
Stuck behind the Red Bull, but you say stuck, but it only got past at the start of this lap. Rupsi Cola, though, looks like they're on a right charge because they got past Marchmeister even before the DRS zone at the start of this lap. So it'd be interesting to see how this one goes. Marchmeister, 3-second time penalty, which is not going to help their battle towards the podium here because that could be really costly. Looks like the Mercedes is getting really close up towards that Red Bull, looking really racy now.
Yeah, absolutely is. They're all getting more and more racy. We've seen it throughout the season. They get racy with each other once they get to know each other even more. They know how each other think now. It is getting down towards turn 1. JPS looks to the outside of Speed Queen. Can the Red Bull defend? Not just from Mercedes. No, they can't defend from Mercedes. They're having to fight the Williams of Ripsicola, who tries it up the inside. Do they make the move stick? No, they can't. Speed Queen just defends just enough. But Ripsicola is trying to make a nuisance of themselves and put themselves further into this battle of the race lead and put themselves into P2. But they cannot do so. And that was opportunistic, but clever.
He's going for the outside now.
Yeah, he's going to the outside
going
now.
For the switchback. Going to be up the inside, towards the outside of turn 9 and 10. Didn't have the run there. Must have had a bit of wheel spin. Because it doesn't look like they were able to do anything about the Red Bull in that position. Yeah,
absolutely. But he can't. Rupsicola trying everything against Speed Queen. This is allowing JPS to put a little bit of a gap. Speed Queen's red light for ERS is flashing quite significantly, and it is seeming like that Red Bull is certainly struggling as we go down through turn 13 and turn 14 as Speed Queen looks to try and regain on JPS after having to have a skirmish with Rupsicola. We now go down towards the final corner. This is what's difficult about this game is slipstream and DRS do make it difficult to make any sort of pull away. And yes, it makes good racing a lot, but it does make it pretty much almost impossible for someone to without DRS to do anything about the car behind. Into turn 1 goes Speed Queen, and they take the race lead as JPS drops to P2. Can JPS do anything in retaliation? But no, they can't, as the Red Bull continues to lead the way into turn 4, but Rupsicola was all over the back of them as well, but they can't do much as we on lap 20 of 29. It is very, very difficult for these drivers. JPS has gone wide. He's gone wide, and that's cost him 2 positions. Potentially disaster for the Mercedes, and that is not what you want to be seeing if you are JPS, who's now going through turn 9 and turn 10. Sees another 2 cars in front of them. March locks up. JPS doesn't have the best exit either, but Rupsicola up to P2. Speed Queen up to P1. This is heaven for them because JPS looked on fire.
It's a lot of work for JPS to do again now.
Yeah, just absolute work and just nothing. JPS just one mistake cost him severely. We now go down towards the final corner. Rubsicola is now going to be having to attack Speed Queen. Speed Queen doesn't have a Mercedes, has a Mercedes powered car behind them now, but this time it's a Williams who is going to try and attack, but is there much that Red Bull can do? Speed Queen's got to defend, sticks the outside line, March picks the inside line in defence on JPS. There's contact between the two behind them, but Rubsicola takes the lead away from Speed Queen. Is that going to last though? Because here comes Speed Queen, almighty exit there from the Red Bull into turn 4. Outbreak? No, they can't. Rubsicola goes deep in defence and does it. The Williams up to the race lead on lap 21, and Rubsicola has just the opportunity to take this and take away points from not just Speed Queen and JPS, but put himself closer to Shoot Fizzle.
Rubsicola was not a driver we expected to see on the top at all, was he?
Certainly not on lap 1, but never doubt that Williams, because Rubsicola yet to win a race at this stage of the season. Can the Williams do so tonight? It's still got a long way to go though, because they got Speed Queen, JPS, Marchmaster all behind them. Needs them to desperately all start fighting. There's Mark Bowler, their teammate of Rubsicola, off, maybe causing yellow flag. Gets back to racing though. These front four have pulled away from the rest of the field, but these guys are all so tight. There's he retired Mark Bowler. That has caused a safety car. Is that that's not going to help Rupsi really, because that's going to pull the field right back together. Is there going to be anyone pitting? Rupsi pits. They all pit. All 4 of them decide to pit now, and they're going to go all onto soft tyres to the end of the race.
That annoys me a little bit, because Mark Bowler had just gone off the track and he's obviously just driven straight into the wall or retired off track or something. He's not in the race and now just caused a safety car and just ruined everyone else's race. So good job there, Mark.
Yeah, it's not the way you want to go. If you're going to retire, on track, at least do it in the pit lane so it doesn't dispute any other problems. But that's put Shoot Fizzle back into this battle for the lead now. And Rubsicola now has a lot more work to do, because Shoot looked quite well out of this, and now Shoot's got a chance to get back through the field. Yeah, it's going to be difficult, but they're going to gain even more points. And Rubsicola's now got not 3 cars to defend from. They've got 8 or 9, and that is quite difficult, especially, and quite a bit of pressure, considering you have not won a race yet.
Interesting to see the split of tyres out there at the moment. So we've got most people on mediums. We've got JPS on the softs, and he's in P3, so that's going to be quite tasty. And then towards the back, we've got Shoot Fizzle on the softs as well. So that's quite a aggressive strategy. I'm surprised more people didn't go for the softs here with the amount of laps to go, because when we get going, there's only going to be about 5 racing laps.
Yeah, and maybe they feel like it mediums are the better race tyre, and the softs just don't feel as good. Maybe, I don't know. We're going to have to see whether that makes any sort of difference. Rubsicola, Speed Queen will lead the way. JPS P3, Marchmeister with a penalty in P4 with a 3-second no less. That could be costly. P5 for Quackmelly, Vakuli P6, Consola P7, yes JC P8, and Shoot Fizzle will be P9 once we take away Gary. But that could all change with the amount of racing we've got to go, because we've got 5 laps. That's a lot of time to race. We'll see how this goes.
Absolutely will change.
Yeah, absolutely will change as we go to end lap 22 to start lap 23, and that will be probably our final safety car lap. It's difficult for Rupsi here, because you've now got a lot of drivers trying to fight, try and get back past you, and you've got a driver who's on soft compound of tyres, the faster tyre as of the start of the safety car restart, and you've now got to try and defend from not just that, but a lot of drivers behind.
Yeah, a lot of drivers to defend from, but yeah, a lot of these drivers are pretty well versed. It looks like Rubsicola's on old tyres, because my lap count has shown us doing more laps on those tyres than everyone else. Possibly the quali set, the that they used earlier on.
Potentially,
Oh,
lad.
was Rupsi Cola with the? Did Rupsi Cola have that crash on lap 1?
Yes, they went last, so
These are
it have
probably
gone
those tyres that they started on then.
potentially. Yes.
So that's a. If that is the case, Rupsi Cola's had an absolute drive today. Yeah, Rupsi Cola came in on lap 1, so effectively it lasts the first right now.
Yeah, so that is a very good drive there from Rupsicola. Never give up. It's what we said this at the start of the race. Never give up, and you can still
Never give up.
end up in a
Yeah.
good position. I'm having a quick look through the stats, so I'd have a quick look just to see what Rupsicola's done in terms of races. 68 points across 9 races. No, this is the chance for them to win their first race, but has a couple podiums, so knows what pressure is like. Can the Williams take their first race win? Safety car in this lap as the field close up for hopefully the final time, and we are about
Possibly one of the first safety car restarts that Rupsi Cola's done.
quite possibly, and that is going to be interesting to see how they react. You know, backs everyone up, tries to get them to maybe cool their tyres down as they wait to get going. They don't know when Rupsi will pull the trigger, but if Rupsi pulls the trigger at the wrong time and Speed Queen's ready, this could be detrimental. They go now as they go into the final corner. Does it quite early, so this gives them the opportunity. Nearly 7/10 gap before we get to the line, and this could be crucial. Rupsi darts to the right hand side of the track, down towards turn 1. The top 3 look to try and fight each other, but that is not enough as we go into turn 1. Rupsi Cola, Ventus Soda's left the session. Do you mind quickly just getting him back in?
I'll try and get him back.
Rupsi Cola leads the way. Speed Queen P2, JPS P3, Marchmaster P4, Quick Melly P5, P6 for Vekuli, P7 for JC, P8 for Soda, P9 for Shoot Fizzle. We've got battles trying to merge, but everyone is on full attack now with 5 laps to go. It is game on as we now go through turn 8 towards turn 9 and turn 10. It is opportunity for victory for Speed Queen, JPS and Rupsi Cola. Marchmeister just behind them, but has a 3-second time penalty, and that could drop them quite a few places by race end. We're going to go down towards turn 11. Rupsi managing to keep the P1 for now, but DRS is soon upon us. We go round turn 12, and the Williams has that Red Bull in its mirrors quite prominently.
Yeah, Rupsi Cola's done well to lead this first lap though. JPS, I'm surprised, hasn't made any positions on those fresher soft tyres though. Could be they really need to utilise that tyre advantage while they can.
Yeah, definitely here. We're going to go down towards... Shut up. We're going to go down towards turn 1. It's not going to be just 2 wide. It's going to be 3 wide as we go into turn 1. Bit of contact there. Can Rupsi Cola defend? Speed Queen around the outside. Makes the move stick before we don't even have DRS. And that could be crucial. Rupsi Cola's got DRS though. They're going to come back at Speed Queen. Can they make the move stick in retaliation? Yes, they do. Pushes Speed Queen just wide enough. That's caused JPS to try and make a move. He's on the softs. He's going to go up the inside. Bit of contact there, and that it's left JPS down the order, and this has let a lot of drivers all through. Speed Queen has dropped down to P3, Quick Many up to P2. This could be I believe these two are brothers, P1 and P1-2 for them. We're gonna have Rupsi Cola now pulling away. He's gonna be telling him if they are like, just hold him up. They're gonna have the opportunity to work together. If anything, P1 and P2 lap 25 of 29 is gonna be on. Gonna go through turn 12 now. Rupsi Cola, its door has certainly opened as we head through turn 13. This is this is like one of those stories that just like a fairy tale. Lost with damage at the end of lap 1, P1 by lap 25, just got to hold on. Is it going to be the fairy tale ending? No, or is it going to be the reality hit? Reality hit as we go down towards turn 1. Here comes Quick Melly. They're going to try and make a move, but here comes Speed Queen as well. Speed Queen breaks the attack on the McLaren. Up the inside goes to McLaren on the Williams. Bit of contact there between the two. This is not going to help Rubsicola. There might be a bit of damage now off one of the cars as the Williams tries to defend from not just one but 2 cars. Up the inside goes to, around the outside goes to Red Bull. He can't make the move stick quite yet as Quick Melly tries to defend, but Speed Queen up to P2. Shoot Fizzle in P4 trying to make a move down the inside, trying to make a move stick. Bit of contact mid corner, but is that crucial enough? Here comes Shoot flying through the field, and now into P3, and that podium is absolutely extraordinary right now to see.
We had a lot of oversteer coming out of turn 10. That's allowed Quick Melly to get alongside again. But then we got TTSV going up the inside, and that's 2-3 wide, and they crashed. They got the McLaren and the V Club there crashing and losing 2 positions in the process.
Yeah, that was very opportunistic from not just both one of them, but 2 of them, as they both drop down to P5 and P6, but they continue on. It is going to go on to lap 27. Rubsicola has got pressure on him. It's going to be one of those under pressure videos by Into the Barrier, isn't it? Because we now got Speed Queen going to try mount pressure on Rubsicola to the outside. Go Speed Queen. Is that the race winning move? We'll have to see. Got 3 laps to go. Rubsicola now going to sit behind, try and get back to head of Speed Queen. Is it going to be enough? DRS down towards turn 4. Can the Red Bull do the defence? Because the Aston Martin, they see Shoot Fizzle just inch by inch closing in. Is that Aston Martin going to cause more trouble for the top 2? We go through sector 2 now. A bit of battling between Quick Melly and Vekuli. They've had a bit of contact previously. That's not going to stop them fighting hard though. Vekuli diving up the inside, more contact, and that was just distraughting for Vekuli. That drops down to P9, and Quick Melly's kept that position of P5 for now. JPS down in P6 with Solar in P7. This grid has turned on its head since that safety car in a couple laps.
Shoot Fizzle's got to P2.
Shoots up to P2, yeah. How's that happen? Rubsicola dropped significantly off. Has he got damage of some description? Because Rubsicola is now dropping off the back of this pack as these 2, Speed Queen and Shoot Fizzle, are trying to pull away, but they've got a gap to Rubsicola. Yellow flag for Vekuli. He's round turn 12. And now, all of a sudden, it's become Speed Queen, Shoot Fizzle battling out with 2 laps to go. What has happened to that Williams?
It doesn't look like there's any noticeable damage there, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. I think it was just a move around turn 9-10. Maybe just a little bit of bravery with Shoot Fizzle being on those nice, softer compounder tyre.
Maybe.
We've got the McLaren and the Mercedes going alongside each other now. We've got both McLarens. We've got Quick Melly's in front of Constant Soda. We've got JPS up the inside of Soda now. Can Soda do anything to hold that off? There's a little bit of contact there, but it looks like Soda's got the better of that one.
Yeah, Soda up to P6, JPS down to P7. It has not been that Mercedes this race. Our Season 3 champion is just not having the greatest of time of things this race. As we now go through turn 10 for the penultimate time. Speed Queen, Shoot Fizzle. It's been a battle that's meant to be throughout this season. They're going to continue to do so as we round to turn 11. And round turn 12, Speed Queen half a second ahead of Shoot Fizzle. Rubsicola still there, but he's dropping further and further back. That Williams does not look like it's the same car that was leading just laps ago. And this is certainly heating up. Round in the final corner for the penultimate time. Shoot Fizzle got DRS on Speed Queen. Can Speed Queen do enough? We're now going to go DRS for the Aston Martin. Shoot down towards turn 1. Can Shoot do anything? Shoot to the outside. Speed Queen defends. This has been the move that Shoot's defended and attacked with. They've taken the lead, and that soft tyre on that Aston Martin has worked wonders. But is that going to be enough? Because here comes Speed Queen. Can they make any sort of move? No, they can't. Shoot takes the lead on lap 29, a driver who had a drive-through, who had a 10-second time penalty, who's had it all happen this race, has moved to P1, and is that the race-winning move? We're going to go down towards turn 8, down and now up towards turn 9 and turn 10. Speed Queen running out of time, running out of options. Is that it? Go through turn 10. DRS for Speed Queen. This might be one of their last opportunities, but Shoot looks phenomenal at the front. We're going to go through turn 11 once more and up towards turn 12. Can Speed Queen do anything? Oh, is that Shoot rounding turn 13? Lock up there from the Aston Martin, but it does look like the Red Bull's chances are significantly dwindling. 3.5 tenths, but that is going to be too much of a gap. Rounding the final corner for the final time. Don't ever doubt, because that Aston Martin is always about. It's going to be a race win for Shoot Thistle. Championship lead extended provisionally ahead of Speed Queen. And then that's Rupsi Koda rounding out the podium. Another podium for the Williams Marchmeister P4. But that race was all sorts of carnage, but all sorts of action.
It's worth saying that we think that the stewards are going to be very busy after this one, and there is a pending investigation looming over the race winners' heads there with that collision with JPS earlier on in the race. Whether the stewards actually investigate that and takes any action, we don't know. But I will say that the race. What am I saying there? The the finishers, Quick Melly was only about 10 seconds back from the leader, so there could be a lot of points lost.
There could be, and at the end of the day, it was utter chaos. We see Shoot Fizzle has taken victory, and that. We'll quickly go to that one. Shoot Fizzle takes Litty Tree, takes fastest lap as well, but we'll see whether they hold on to that. Speed Queen P2, Rupsi Koda P3, Marchmaster P4, JPS P5, Soda P6, yes, JC P7, Quick Melly P8 with Vekuli, Mark Baller, Hanflat Kelly and Funny Wave Band all retiring from the session. And that is everything done for this evening. I'm not going to do interviews tonight. I'm too tired for that. So thank you all for watching. We will be back next week, I do believe. I've got to double check now before I say something. That is actually 2 weeks' time. But yeah, we'll be back next week for Saudi Arabia. It's back to your normally regularly scheduled viewing of races, no sprints this time round. We've got Saudi Arabia, then Portugal for round 11. Netherlands is round 12. That's the final sprint race of the season, with Britain and Azerbaijan rounding out the season. Thank you all for watching. It's been a pleasure, and goodbye.